This exercise is a continuation of exercise 3A for module 3, CIS 127. We're going to open the file that we used last, which is last name underscore Ai3a, and that defaulted to .ai as the file extension. So you save that, hopefully on your desktop or somewhere that you remember within your files. And then what you want to do is you're going to you see your name here, and your name should be in outline form. And so that means that it's no longer editable. What we want to do is, with the selection tool up here, you're going to go ahead and select your name. And then go to the Layers panel. If you don't see the Layers panel, most of you should, but if you don't, make sure that you go to Window, Layers, and it should pop right up for you. We're going to go ahead and create a new layer by clicking on the new layer icon, which is down at the very bottom of this. You can also find new layer up in the top layer option panel, which if you click on that, a little menu should pop out. The very top option is new layer. I just think it's easier to go down here. So click there. And you should have a layer 2 that pops up above layer 1. If you notice the eyeballs to the left of that, that shows if they're visible or not. For example, if I hide the one at the bottom after I add that, then you note my name goes away. All right, so we're on the second layer. And then what we're going to do is we want to make sure our name is selected and make sure we are on the first layer. All right, so make sure you're on the first layer with your name selected, and then what you're going to want to do is there's a tiny little blue square that's located to the right of the layer, and it indicates the selected art. So basically you could do a ton of stuff on this one layer, and if you take this blue square and you move it to the top, just click and drag and let go, you'll notice that layer 2 is red, layer 1 is blue, and now you have a tiny little red square at the top. So it will default into different colors and allow you to move your artwork from one layer to the next, and only what's selected will move. So for example, if I build a ton of different graphics on this one layer, and whatever I have selected, I could just click on certain things and select them, and then take the small little square and move it from one layer to the next. Okay, so that's what I want you to do, is to make sure that that name then gets moved over here, and you'll only see that little square if you have something selected. You won't see it if nothing's selected. Okay, so make sure that is your name is on the top layer for right now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this layer, okay, and then move it underneath layer 1. So click and drag, it turns into a hand, almost like the hand is moving it, and move it underneath. And you know what's underneath when you see that cyan, that bright blue line underneath layer 1. Let go. Now you can see layer 2 is under layer 1. My name is now at the bottom. That's what I want you to do. And then after that, I want you to name these layers. Right now they're named layer 1 and layer 2. What I want you to do is double click right on the text. Make sure you're on the selection tool, double click on the text. We're going to name the bottom text. And so if you just double click and then triple click on the name, layer 2, then put name down, okay? And then the second layer you're going to name redraw. Oops. Redraw. Okay, so now we have different layers, and you know, these can be visible or not visible depending, but that's what we're going to do for right now. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to lock the name layer. This layer is easily locked because we're going to redraw something over the top, and we don't want to accidentally or inadvertently click on what's below. So this particular layer needs to be locked, so you just select the layer, And one thing you could do is just hover over this little empty space here and then click on it. That immediately locks the layer, super quick and easy. You can also find it up here in the menu, which is Object. Let's unlock it and I can show you. You select it, you can go up to Object. You kind of need to select something too. Object, and you go to Lock Selection. Okay, so that locked the particular selection, but it didn't lock the layer. So you could do that for this little exercise we're gonna do in exercise 3C. But for right now, it's nice to know that you can also lock the layer. So you can lock a selection by going to Object, Lock Selection. You can unlock it by doing Object, Unlock All. See, it gets to be unlocked. Or you can just lock the layer, which I think is far easier. But you need to know that there's different ways of doing it because you may not want to lock everything on a layer. You might want to just lock the selection. Okay, so the bottom one's locked, and that's going to be it for right now. We're going to save this. We're going to save this as last name underscore Ai3b, which I had you do immediately when you opened it. So you can just do a Control S if you want to save right over the top. Change the name 3B. And save that as an Illustrator file. Say, okay. All right, okay, I'll see you in the next video for exercise 3C.